Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
Loretta Butler Turner calls on the leaders of opposition forces to put aside their egos. The story coming up.
The Minister of National Security responds to delays in the spy bill. That story is coming up straight ahead.
Why a prominent attorney says the F&M leader is playing dumb.
Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller blasts the Parliamentary Registration Department. That story straight ahead.
And Team Bahamas takes on Jamaica at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, opposition leader Loretta Butler Turner says egos and personal ambition could result in the re-election of the Progressive Liberal Party. It's something she says the country must avoid, but that can only happen if one opposition force is formed. Kyle Joaquin reports.
Butler Turner said the problem is that everybody wants to be the leader. She said egos must be put aside so that there is one strong opposition force to defeat the PLP in the upcoming general election.
And until we actually determine that the country is more important than each of us as individuals, we will probably end up with what we have.
The Long Island MP says the only reason there are so many parties and political groupings is because there are too many people wanting to be prime minister. There's the F&M, DNA, BNCP, UDP, BCP, and a list of other parties running candidates in the upcoming election, as well as a few independents. She said the only way to defeat the PLP is to present just two choices to voters.
And that is a unified opposition and the government. And so it's important that we try to work toward unifying at least the opposition forces. Maybe not under the same umbrella, because everyone wants to be leader, but certainly to be able to put our differences aside to turn the country around.
Butler Turner's talks with the DNA fell through because she said that party's leader threw her under the bus. The opposition leader also said she's had formal talks with every opposing party there is, except the F&M. Just last week, Fort Charlotte MP Dr. N.J. Rollins said he would do whatever he must to get back with the F&M to help kick the PLP out of office. Butler Turner was asked if she too would be willing to work under Dr. Hubert Minnis.
I don't know about the under. I think it's not so much an under. We've got to work together. Okay? Let's stop placing one person on top of the other and let us see how we can best work together. That is important, whether it's Hubert Minnis, whether it's Branville McCartney, whether it's Greg Moss, whether it's Loretta Butler Turner, whichever other grouping, we have got to come together.
The Long Island MP will be running as an independent in that constituency against Long Island native Adrian Gibson. She's calling on splinter party leaders to understand the math and unite or accept another 5 years of the PLP.
And history certainly dictates that if we go into an election splintered in so many directions, that's very likely.
Reporting for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
In other news, Tall Pines Member of Parliament Leslie Miller is blasting the Parliamentary Registration Department, accusing some in the department of being drunk on power, making it far too difficult for Bahamians to register to vote. This as National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage admits that they've had to get rid of some officers. Jasmine Brown takes a closer look.
Miller says over the last few weeks he's been receiving a lot of reports of people trying to register and being given a tough time. He says in one case, one of his constituents was turned away from 4 voter registration centers over the weekend. Miller says the constituent was told that he did not have the right documents, despite the National Security Minister insisting registrants only needed to bring a passport to register. Miller insists there are dozens of similar cases.
The minister made it clear to all Bahamians that all you need is your passport that shows your picture on it that you can register to vote as a voter in this country. I was here when he said it, Mr. Speaker.
Miller says while the process should be easy, it's not. He insists that some of those officers are drunk on power.
They've taken it upon themselves, which is typical with some Bahamians. You give them a little power, they go nuts with it. These people are not following the rules, and they are intimidating people and causing Bahamians not to want to go to vote. This is a serious matter, sir.
Miller called on officials to step in and remind the rogue officers of their duties.
So I'm just asking the minister again to please inform those persons who have the responsibility to stop harassing Bahamians from registering to vote, because that's what they're doing.
Now, Nottage did respond, saying he would look into the matter. He also admitted that he too has received complaints, and in some cases, several of those workers were removed. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, amid concerns that the non-Bahamians are registering to vote, Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Peter Turnquest, is calling on the Parliamentary Registration Department to be more vigilant. Turnquest says it's a real concern.
There is this temptation to grant citizenships in the hope that those persons receiving citizenship will be loyal to you and will be so grateful that they will vote for you. That is wrong. And if it is happening, and I use the word if it is happening, we certainly condemn it.
Earlier this week, Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner in Grand Bahama, Reno Smith, said he is very concerned that people who have not proven that they are eligible to vote in the upcoming election were allowed to register. Turnquest commended Smith for being forthright and addressing the matter.
That is not what democracy is about, and our citizenship and our country is worth more than a vote.
Amid criticism surrounding fears of the invasion of privacy under the recently tabled Interception of Communications bill, the Attorney General has stepped up to defend the legislation as a period of public consultation begins. Today, the National Security Minister backed the Attorney General, noting the bill is far from delayed. Giorgio Bain has more.
The controversial Interception of Communications bill has received a lot of attention from civil Bahamas, with many celebrating the bill's delay. But according to the Minister of National Security, that bill is not delayed. According to Nottage, the bill is causing unnecessary uproar and more time is needed to educate the public. The bill has been coined the spy bill and has received opposition from many, including the leader of the Free National Movement, Dr. Hubert Minnis, who said the bill must not stand because it poses dangers.
That's not a delay. The bill has been tabled. The public has responded to what they perceive the bill to be about. It's clear to us that the purpose of the bill is being misrepresented by those who are commenting on it.
This period will be used for public consultation to better inform Bahamians about the contents of the tabled bill before moving forward with the debate. Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson said debate was delayed because officials are concerned that the public has been misled substantially.
Like we have done with many bills in the past, we have determined that we will have a public education exercise so that people can know exactly what the bills are about, rather than listening to hearsay which is inaccurate.
According to Nottage, the government will not be deterred in its efforts to add certain protections not provided in the Listening Devices Act.
It's not a delay. We don't have a time frame before which or after which the bill must be done.
Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Bain.
And prominent attorney Wayne Monroe is accusing the Free National Movement of playing games by pushing for government to abandon the Interception of Communications bill. While he labeled the decision to delay debate on the bill a shrewd move, Monroe says he refuses to believe the FNM leader could be so ignorant of the facts. Vonique Toot reports.
I fail to believe that Dr. Minnis can be that dumb. I understand that my friend Mr. Fred Smith is dramatic, the dropping to your knees praying for Fred Mitchell. He's a dramatic fella. That's Fred's persona. That's his way of doing things. But I fail to believe that Dr. Minnis could be that dumb.
As someone who aspires to become Prime Minister, attorney Wayne Monroe says he refuses to believe that FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis did not read the Interception of Communications bill. Before debate on the bill was delayed, Minnis accused government of trying to ram it down Bahamians' throats and called it a breach of privacy that must not stand. However, Monroe says that as a lawmaker, Minnis must know that the Interception bill exists in many countries and offers protections not provided in the current Listening Devices Act.
I fail to believe that the leader of the FNM has not read the Listening Devices Act, has not had anybody read it for him and advised him, that the starting point is the Minister of National Security can authorize in writing whoever he wishes to snoop on you. Now, without any court control, and without any need to destroy anything that they collect. That is the present law. And so what Dr. Minnis is saying is that he is wholly ignorant about the current state of the law. That is a very dangerous position.
Monroe says the interception bill, on the other hand, would enable police, with the permission of a Supreme Court judge, to lawfully intercept electronic communications. Monroe called the decision to delay debate a shrewd move on Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson's part.
The reason given is we're in silly season and people are grasping at anything and bringing up misinformation. Insofar as you politically may not wish to give somebody unnecessary capital, it was a shrewd move.
Maynard Gibson said in a statement that in this political season, most of the public discussion on the legislation has become completely partisan. Therefore, debate would be delayed to allow for more public consultation. However, the prominent attorney says members of the bar have been lobbying for this bill since the early 90s.
I would be surprised if it's reintroduced before the election.
Monroe urged the public to read the current Listening Devices Act online to educate themselves instead of relying on public commentary. Reporting for our News, I'm Vonique Tude.
Still to come on our news, St. Anne's MP Hubert Chipman labeled a flip-flopper. We'll tell you who said it and why. And a little later, Bahamian businesses come alive. Stay with us.